Okay, so we're about to dive into something really fascinating. We're going to deconstruct a deeply personal and, let's be honest, very complex email. Now, on the surface, it might look a little chaotic, but it's actually a meticulously built bridge, a really powerful plea for help, constructed piece by piece, and it's designed for someone to cross it.
So, to decode what he's trying to say, we absolutely have to start with his central metaphor, the Ezelsbruggetin, or donkey's bridge. This concept is the foundation for everything that follows.
Now, in everyday Dutch, an ezelsbruggetje is just a simple mnemonic. You know, a little trick to help you remember something, like a rhyme or an acronym. It's a pretty common and straightforward idea.
But this is where it gets really interesting. See, Verhaeghe isn't using the common definition. He's tapping into a much deeper, almost ancient meaning. For him, the Ezelsbruggetje isn't a memory trick. It's a bridge for true integration. It's a way to make two totally separate minds, his and the doctor's, see one single unified picture.
And that just completely reframes his entire communication, doesn't it? This isn't just a random stream of consciousness. No, this is a deliberate, massive construction project. It's an intellectual bridge that he is building, piece by painful piece, for the medical system to cross over into his reality.
So, that begs the question, right? Why does he feel the need to build such an incredibly elaborate bridge in the first place? Well, it all comes down to a fundamental clash between two very, very different ways of thinking.
He sees the system that he's trying to talk to as having a monotropic mind. From his perspective, this is a mind that sees individual symptoms in total isolation. You know, a test result over here, a complaint over there, but it consistently fails to connect the dots into a coherent whole picture, or as he calls it, a plache.
In stark contrast, he describes his own mind as multi-monotropic. He sees it as a kind of dyslexic 3D systems thinking. It's constantly weaving together threads from completely different fields. We're talking AI, neuroscience, pop culture, you name it, all to build that one single holistic plache. And this line just lays it all out, side by side. This is the core conflict. It's a fundamental communication mismatch. On one side, you've got this complex network of interconnected ideas being presented to a system that, frankly, expects and is only built to process a straight line.
Every bridge is built to get somewhere, and this one is no different. But its destination, it's not a physical place. It's a state of being, and it's one that is both deeply symbolic and intensely personal. The destination is restoration. After years of suffering and feeling completely misunderstood, he's just seeking a return to health. And he connects this goal so powerfully to the biblical figure of Jemima, one of Job's daughters who was born after his great trials had ended. She symbolizes a brand new beginning.
The name Jemima is just perfect. It perfectly encapsulates all of his goals. It stands for restoration after intense suffering. A possible meaning of her name is actually day by day, which reflects the slow, iterative process he's using to build his case. And finally, it represents beauty, a return to a whole and healthy state.
And what's wild is that his actual method is a real-world reflection of this day-by-day journey. He's using AI tools and concepts from reinforcement learning to slowly integrate data over time. It's this algorithmic, step-by-step process of building his intellectual bridge, marching toward that final restored picture.
So, here we are. We've got all the pieces on the table. We have the bridge, the two different kinds of thinkers, and the symbolic destination. Now we can finally assemble the complete, coherent picture of his plea.
This is where the puzzle just clicks together. The role of the medical professional, the symbolic easel or donkey that he's trying to guide, is to simply do their job. And what is that job? It's to cross the bridge he built, integrate the information, and facilitate his restoration, to help him finally reach his Jemima moment.
It's a surprisingly clear, four-step process he's laid out. First, you have the professional, the easel. They must cross the Ezelsbruggetje that he has so carefully built. In doing that, they perform their job correctly, which ultimately brings about the Jemima moment of healing and restoration for him. But for Verhaeghe, this isn't just about getting a diagnosis. The ultimate goal is something profoundly neurological, neurosynchronization. It's a moment of shared consciousness where his holistic understanding is perfectly mirrored in the mind of the doctor, a moment where their brains literally light up in the exact same way.
So in the end, what first looked like this incoherent jumble of ideas is revealed to be anything but. It's a desperate, it's a brilliant, and it's a highly structured attempt to translate one reality for a world that, quite frankly, just isn't built to understand it.